The voice of God calls us to awaken in Him. How will He find us when He comes?
Awake and ready. And when He asks us to dedicate our lives more perfectly, how will He find us?
Awake and ready.
Let's pray together. Heavenly Father,
Heavenly Father,
Divine Mother,
Divine Mother,
Friend, beloved God,
Friend, beloved God,
Great Masters,
Great Master,
Jesus Christ,
Jesus Christ,
Babaji Krishna,
Babaji Krishna,
Lahiri Mahashai,
Lahiri Mahashaya,
Swami Shri Yukteswar,
Swami Shri Yukteswar,
beloved Guru,
beloved Guru,
Paramhansa Yogananda,
Paramhansa Yogananda,
saints of all religions,
saints of all religions,
we humbly bow to you all.
we humbly bow to you all.
Divine Mother,
Divine Mother,
we celebrate your presence today
we celebrate your presence today
with rejoicing in our hearts,
with rejoicing in our hearts,
the joy that we feel
the joy that we feel
that flows from Thee.
that flows from Thee.
Thank you for all of your blessings.
Thank you for all of your blessings.
Help us to align our lives
Help us to align our lives
ever more perfectly
ever more perfectly
to Thy will alone.
to Thy will alone.
Bless us this day,
Bless us this day,
that we may never lose sight of Thee.
that we may never lose sight of Thee.
We are ever yours.
We are ever yours.
Om peace. Amen.
Amen.
So welcome everyone. We will begin today with, we'll invite the choir to come up for those who are part of the choir, and we'll sing our first song entitled Keep Calling Him.
Yeah, you can all be here. It's okay. Happy to be blocked. Yeah. You good, Lynn?
We don't want to
That's fine. Are we all ready? Keep calling Him. Keep calling Him. Whether He replies or not, keep calling Him. In the temple of unceasing prayer, believe that He's approaching there. And call to Him. Keep calling Him. Dark as snow, I'm praying, Lord. You know I love no other. I'll speak not, nor ask when to expect from you an answer. You know my heart. I'll call to Thee again. Keep calling Him. Keep calling Him. Whether He replies or not, keep calling Him. I'll wash Thy feet of silence with the waters of My tears. The altar of my soul will be empty till Thou comest. I'll wait for Thee. No matter days or years, keep calling Him. Keep calling Him. Whether He replies or not, keep calling Him. In the center of my heart, I have a mystic throne for Thee. The candles joys are dimly burning now and cold, awaiting thy coming. Though it be eternity, keep calling Him, keep calling Him. Whether He replies or not, keep calling Him. Even when there's no reply, never let your longing die. And call to Him, keep calling Him. Remain persistent and depressed through dark and seeming silence. If in the midst of life, disease and death, you play the dancer, yet keep calling Him. You will receive His answer. Keep calling Him, keep calling Him, keep calling Him.
So let us begin. We'll have two chants bringing us into meditation. Our first chant is "Will that day come to me, Ma?" as we celebrate Divine Mother's Day today. As we also celebrate Mother's Day, it's all one and the same. So let's chant invoking Divine Mother's presence. This written by Sri Ram Prasad.
Mother dear, my eyes will So this one is When I Awake. When I awake, I'll see thy face. When I awake, I will see thy light. When I awake, I'll see thy face. When I awake, I will see thy light. Mother, awake me from my dream. Meditate now for a few minutes. As we continue our meditation, let's tune into the quality for this week, which is service. Service is ennobling. It's a way of offering our human littleness into the great reality that is God. Service should not be given with the thought that one is serving people merely. It should be given with an inward consciousness to the Lord who resides in all creatures. When we see others in this spirit, we find our own spirits becoming freed from egotism. Peace then fills us in the realization that there isn't anyone with whom we need to compete. What joy to think that we belong to God. We'll do this affirmation now, first loudly and then with increasing interiorization. I will serve God through others.
I will serve God through others.
And by my service to Him,
And by my service to Him,
release the hold the ego has on me.
release the hold the ego has on me.
I am free in God.
I am free in God.
In God I am free.
In God I am free.
Softer now, I will serve God through others.
I will serve God through others.
And by my service to Him,
By my service to Him,
release the hold the ego has on me.
release the hold the ego has on me.
I am free in God.
I am free in God.
In God I am free.
In God I am free.
More silently, I will serve God through others. And by my service to Him, release the hold the ego has on me. I am free in God. In God I am free. And now mentally, I will serve God through others. And by my service to Him, release the hold the ego has on me. I am free in God. In God I am free. And now deeply still, I will serve God through others, and by my service to Him, release the hold the ego has on me. I am free in God. In God I am free. All that I do, Lord, I do for love of Thee. Accept the flowers of my service to Thee as I place them on Thy altar of omnipresence. Om, peace, Amen.
This is a reading from Rays of the One Light, weekly commentaries on the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita by Swami Ananda. Week 18, Perfection is Self-Transcendence. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. We begin this week with a passage from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 5. Love your enemies, bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. If ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the tax collectors the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even pagans so? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. This teaching is a continuation of last week's lesson. To love all equally is possible only by seeing God everywhere, and others as well as in yourself, as in oneself. See whatever comes to you, unmask, for as a manifestation of His will. Be grateful for the pains you experience, for they are healing strokes of His love. Sometimes healing is effected only by strong measures, but His love for you is manifested in the very attempt to heal. Strive always to be impersonal, as though whatever happens to you were happening to someone else. Persecution gives us the supreme opportunity to deny the thought this is happening to me, and to affirm our inner freedom from the thought of ego. Don't allow the negative perceptions of others to become your own self-definition. Seek God. This is the true goal of life, though how difficult to cling to in the midst of hatred, spite, and persecution. The Bhagavad Gita tells us in the 7th chapter, out of 1,000, one strives for spiritual attainment, and out of many blessed true seekers who strive assiduously to reach me, one perhaps perceives me as I am. O truth seeker, be one among those thousands who seeks the supreme goal. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind.
So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday service, and for those who are joining us online, first, just thank you to all our friends who came and traveled from afar to be here for our wonderful day yesterday, our retreat day, and our beautiful guests who host us and taking us into their homes and feeding us snacks and it's just been coming home. Of course, I'm also blessed. It's Mother's Day today, and I have my beautiful earthly mother here, as well as my father. It's not Father's Day, but you know, it was not too long ago, and so it's just always such a blessing for Sagar and I to travel from Ananda village to just see Master's work and how it's expanding, and it's so inspiring seeing so many of you how you're serving and how you're helping to be that channel of light and blessing in the world. Today is also, we're not only celebrating Divine Mother as we celebrate Mother's Day today, but also today is Swami Sri Yukteswar's birthday. So we have a double dose of blessings today to tune into. So I want to, in honor of Divine Mother, let's tune into this reading from Whispers from Eternity. Divine Mother, come thyself into the waiting temple of our love. Divine Mother, be thou the only flame shining on the altar of our hearts. Burn away any darkness that lurks there. Divine Mother, be thou the only fragrance rising with the incense of our love for thee. Permeate any dark nooks in the hearts also of those we love. In our tears of love for thee, wash away what attraction we feel for material objects. In our tears of communion with thee, wash away all the sorrows of earth forevermore. Divine Mother, unite our hearts into one great love, wherein thy omnipresence can rest forever and forever. Teach us to behold our latent perfection in the clear mirror of thy divinity. And let the altar flame of our love for thee rise in triumph, shaming the little hissing sparks of all earthly desires. O Divine Mother, may our love be a shooting star racing gloriously through dark skies of forgetfulness, cutting its ways through dark thunder clouds of worldly preoccupation. Divine Mother, a million distractions have come to lure us away from thoughts of thee. Thou thyself, in order to test us, hast offered false substitute fulfillments, pompous temple ceremonies to satisfy the ego needs of worldly people, religious organizations shouting, salvation can come only through serving this work, priests and ministers offering the gospel, God will bless you if you give us money. O Mother, I have done with such outward shows in thy name. I await thee now in the inner temple of my love. Steal softly into this silent temple, Mother. With lampent flame, banish the darkness of my long ignorance, and grant me safety in thy ever-shining bliss. So it was a beautiful reading today, of course. It's one of the highest commandments, as Yogananda said, that to love thy neighbor as thyself. But I'm going to continue on from that part of the reading from the Bible into when Jesus on his travels, he stops at Martha and Mary's house, as many of us know the story in the Bible, where we know that when Christ enters Martha and Mary's home, some disciples that were with him, they were preparing a feast, a very big meal, because Christ is coming. And so here Christ enters the home of Martha and Mary, and Martha is busying herself in the kitchen, preparing, cutting, everyone's looking at Kelly. We all need the Marthas in the world. And so Martha's busy in the kitchen and, creating all this big feast for everyone. And then she's looking for her sister. Where's Mary? She's trying to juggle the pans and chopping, and there's Mary. And she is at Christ's feet, and she is just immersed in that state of bliss, of union, of love with Christ. And so today I want to talk a little bit about this topic, which we revisit once a year, or twice a year actually. And because we need, as Swami Kriyananda said, we need both Marys and Marthas in the world. We need those who feel that inner call of service and to prepare the meal, but we must not lose sight of the main goal, which is inner communion with Divine Mother, inner communion with Christ, with God. And, there was so I wanted to talk a little bit on the topic today of the secret of right action, because it's something that follows along with us in every moment of every day. And there was a devotee who came to his guru, and he said, Guruji, please enlighten me, tell me, what is the secret of right action? And the guru very simply told him the answer and said, whatever your mother told you to do that you didn't do, do that. And so it's not a complicated question, but of what is the right action? Well, it's to do that which is the highest that's before us, to engage in offering ourselves in service in whatever is in need. But perhaps a more focused question that I think that we continue to ask ourselves is, what I'm doing, is it the right thing? So isn't that so that at some point in our life, we start to ask that question. We start asking, am I doing the right thing? If we're not asking that question, we have a little further to go in terms of our evolution of that awareness of understanding that there's something higher that is calling us. There's something of greatness that is waiting for us to embrace in our life. So the first step, as we know, is to become aware. And that question, whether we're asking it fully awake or if it's even a subtle whisper that we hear in our hearts, our soul, am I doing the right thing? And this question that we might be reflecting on, it changes according to the different phases of our life. Because, for example, am I doing the right thing? If when I was just looking at some early photos of myself at my parents' house when I was a young 1-year-old, sitting there before a giant cake. Am I doing the right thing at that phase to, cry because, I'm seeing this giant cake in front of me and I'm going to cry because I want to dive into this cake, I would say that, am I doing the right thing as a 1-year-old? I'd say absolutely. Cry. Dive into that cake or whatever at that age, whatever is appropriate according to that phase. But as we mature, as we get older, of course, it wouldn't be so appropriate. It wouldn't be the right thing for me to go to a restaurant and start crying because I'm hungry, But that served us at that point in our life because the baby cries to say, Mother, I'm hungry. I need nourishment. I need food. I can't speak this language that you all seem to be speaking. And so I cry. And as a result of that, the mother comes and the mother feeds the baby. And so now that we've all grown older, that same question, isn't that so that it just continues to follow us? And when we get on the spiritual path, we receive the techniques, we receive the diksha of the guru, we feel more and more the presence of God. And that question still follows us. Am I doing the right thing? Meaning, am I aligning myself to that source that I now hear the call of God? I hear the call of Divine Mother calling me to fulfill the destiny of my life, which is of God realization. And that's where one of the phases we enter into, which is a very important stage, given especially this time in our lives where there's so much, perhaps there's more influence outwardly. Right now we have literally a job, a profession that many people are undertaking right now, and their profession is called influencers. So literally we're entering this age where there's influence all around us, and there are people who are becoming professional influencers. So how are we being influenced right now is a good question, and it enters subtly into our lives. Before we know it, we get convinced that, I need a gold watch. I don't need a gold watch, but if I see enough advertisements and, enough influence, and my energy is going out and I'm attuning to that influence, then of course I might then go home and say, you know what, I need a gold watch. And then you get the gold watch, and then a month goes by and you look at your watch and why did I even buy this thing, So there is this influence in, everywhere around us. So the question and the important thing that we need to be tuning into is to clarify our goal. To clarify our goals of what is it that we want. Because to answer that question, am I doing the right thing, depends upon that question or that goal that we're seeking. And so for the yogi, we're seeking that state of inner freedom, that state in which we are no longer bound by ego consciousness, by littleness. And so going back to the story of Martha and Mary, Yogananda, interpreting this story in the Bible, talks about how, it was right for Mary to follow that call, because there are those the highest calling for all of us, whether we are serving in the kitchen and preparing the food for the dinner, or if we're sitting at the feet of Christ, that there should be no difference between the both. That both are a vehicle, a method, a way to offer ourselves in communion with that presence of light. And Yogananda talked about one very powerful way that we can move in the direction of aligning ourselves to the highest goal of self-realization, which, as we spoke about yesterday, for every individual, Divine Mother's will is just the same for everyone, which is freedom. And so Yogananda he called this one of the highest prayers that we can practice in our life. And so the prayer that he would practice, that he would encourage all of us to practice, is, I will reason, will, and act, but guide thou my reason, will, and activity to the right path in everything. I will reason, will, and act, but guide thou my reason, will, and activity in the right path in everything I do. And so that prayer, perhaps we've heard it, how many people have heard it more than 100 times? Okay. Let's shoot for 5 times. Okay, well, this is great. So this is a prayer that it's something that is so powerful. I encourage you all to practice this. Before you do anything, before you enter the kitchen in which you know that Christ is coming, or your son is coming, or your daughter or your partner, and you enter the kitchen, before you do everything, Yogananda recommended to embrace this prayer. Lord, I will reason, will, and act, but guide thou my reason, will, and activity in the right path in everything I do. Now, to take this another level deeper, one of the things that if you notice and you look more carefully at this prayer that Yogananda said is one of the highest prayers. The other highest prayer that Yogananda said is, Lord, give me thyself that I may give thee to all. So those are the two highest prayers that we can tune into. And so you notice in the I will reason, will, and act prayer that he's not saying in this prayer, Lord, Guruji, tell me what to do and I'll do it. Now that would be great. Wouldn't that be so much easier? Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I mean, we didn't, maybe when we were younger, didn't follow that as close as our parents might have wanted. My mom's shaking her head, yes. But as now on the spiritual path, it would be much easier. But then there's another layer to this. So it's not that he's saying, we're not saying, Lord, tell me what to do and I'll just do it. But also another subtle point here is that we're not saying, Divine Mother, beloved Guru, Lord, take away my will and just replace it with your will. That also, wouldn't that be just so much easier? But the key here is I will reason, will, and act. That self-effort is there. But guide thou, that's that part where in essence of the secret of right action lies in this part of this prayer, where we're saying, guide thou my energy, my reason, my activity. There is that partnership with God. And everything in our life that comes into our life is a call to deepen that partnership. And this is the invitation in everything we do. There is that call. And I wanted to share that one of the, as Yogananda broke down to help us understand a little bit about this story of Martha and Mary, is especially looking at Martha's situation where she started to get really upset, because here I am slaving away in the kitchen, I'm not getting any help, and her energy, what happens? It drops, and she starts to get angry, she gets upset. And so a few things that are going on here that Paramhansa Yogananda described is that this story invites us to look at three main components that are important for us to be aware of. And the first is the call for us to practice, first and foremost, this prayer that Yogananda gave us. And then the second, where Martha went a little astray, is that she was feeling attached to that service, attached to what was happening. And so the first point that Yogananda highlights is just the need for non-attachment in our service. And this is the Sanskrit term that we often think about and talk about as nishkaram karma, which means action without desire for fruits of your action. And it's something that, if we start to get caught by this, the end result is our consciousness begins to retract, and we get caught in ego consciousness. And that practice of non-attachment, as Swami Kriyananda talked about, is not that we stop caring about the outcome. We do want to, Martha wanted to create a lovely meal for Christ and the disciples, of course. So it wasn't that we stop caring and say, well, I'm not attached, just whatever's happening, it's not on me, it's on you, God. But there's self-effort at the same time, surrender. And I had a wonderful opportunity to learn non-attachment several years ago. Some of you have visited our seclusion retreat up at Ananda village. And if you've not been there, it's where Ananda first started, and there are all these little pathways all through the woods. Very beautiful. It's a place for seclusion, and for many years, it's been a place where a lot of people go to do seclusions and retreats. And so at the time I was a monk, and they very generously gave the monks a great discount to stay in some of the bungalows there. So it was very kind, and I was in seclusion, in silence there for several days. And I was feeling a little restless with my energy, so I thought, let me try to do something of service, also to just give back to the kindness that they had given me with hosting me. And so I thought, all of these pathways, it's a pretty big area, and all these pathways it was fall time, so all the leaves were covering all the paths. And the retreat at this time, they were lacking the staff needed to be able to take care of the grounds and clear the paths. So I thought, okay, well, great, I'm going to get a rake, and it'll be so nice, because when the paths are all clear, it looks so nice. And so I set off on one day, I did my sadhana, and then all day I was raking these paths until just striving for perfection. And every one of the paths were just pristine. The little lights were covered by leaves began to illuminate, so all the paths, very beautiful. And I gave it to Divine Mother, and I said, wonderful, this is beautiful. And I went to bed. And that night, it was a little windy, that night. So the next morning, I wake up and I come out of my little bungalow, and behold, all the paths covered with even more leaves than I started. And I just smiled, and I just thought, how perfect, a beautiful lesson of that non-attached to when we put our energy out and we engage in that self-offering, that it's not that we're serving outwardly to this material world, but everything is an offering to God. And I was just so joyful. I did not rake the leaves. The leaves stayed there, but still it was a good lesson of feeling free in my heart. And the second that Yogananda talks about is the call for us to keep our minds ever fixed on God. And so when we enter into our service, when we are called to act, to be non-attached, but then also trying to practice japa, keeping our consciousness focused here at the third eye. It's very helpful before you enter into a practice to just stop and pray, invite the blessings and the guidance and the grace of the great ones, but then also try to keep your consciousness focused here at the third eye. And if you have a chant that you really like, to just sing that chant inwardly, or sing a song, or just Om Guru, when you're practicing your service. What this does is it helps free us from that bondage of ego by inviting that strong presence of light, of vibration, into our service, where we begin to see less and less that we are the doer, but more and more that this energy and this consciousness of God is the doer. And that's really the big step for the yogi, to feel God as the doer. And then the third and last point that Yogananda highlighted was the need and the call of inner communion with God. And this is hard to achieve when we're busy running around all day, and then we enter into a situation like Martha was in, to then feel that we're in inner communion with Christ and in God. But what is the necessary thing for us is that we do the prep work beforehand. Having a strong sadhana is very, very important, so that we spend that time in inner communion, in our meditation. And then we come out of our meditation, and we move forth in our self-offering. And so we want to try to hold on to that, even a little spark of that feeling of inner communion, to feel that we are moving forward, that we're feeling God acting through us. This is really that call where we are entering into that flow of Divine Mother's love. I was blessed, I had an opportunity to visit Mother Teresa's ashram in Calcutta many years ago. and her casket was out, and all the nuns every morning would shower her casket with flowers, and they'd write a message that Mother Teresa would often use or share. It was very beautiful. And so this one day that I was at her ashram, in marigold flowers written on the casket was "Love seeks to serve." And it's so, what a beautiful reminder that when we're in that place of inner stillness and we spend time communing with that presence of divine light, of divine joy, and naturally of its own accord, acting from our center in that experience of love, of light, then Martha could have been just the same in bliss, in communion with Christ, as Mary was at his feet. And that's really our call. I wanted to close with, talking about this, this call to commune with God, where for much of our life we have had an understanding that to receive anything positive, that we must be perfect. And that's something that we're trained in our when we grow up in school, that when you get the A+, when you're perfect, then you're this great person, isn't it so? When you're perfect at everything you do, everyone commends you, everyone celebrates you. Well, no photos. My manager, you have to talk to my manager if you want photos. No photographs. So this is a big trap for us on the spiritual path. Well, this is perfect. See, we're not, outwardly, we're not striving for perfection in any way. But it is something that I want to invite you all to reflect on as we depart today, on just how we don't need to win Divine Mother's love. We don't need to prove that we are these perfect. My meditation is perfect. My technique is perfect. My service is perfect. I drive perfectly. In school, I am perfect. Everything. And then once all of these have been satisfied, then maybe we stand there waiting for Divine Mother to then embrace us. But as Yogananda said, that perfection lies not outwardly. It doesn't matter how good you are at everything you do, but it's our ability to keep turning toward God, our hearts to God. And so I wanted to close with this very beautiful prayer, this reading from Paramhansa Yogananda, which is entitled, "When Will He Come?" So I invite you to close your eyes and embrace these words from Yogananda. When will He come? When every heart's desire pales, before the brilliancy of the ever-leaping flames of God live, then He will come. When in expectation of His coming, you are ready to fearlessly, grieflessly, joyously burn the faggots of all desires in the fireplace of life, that you may protect Him from your freezing inner indifference, then He will come. When no inclinations or unfulfilled cravings can be sure of your stability toward them, when He shall be certain you will never leave the Guru, then He will come. No matter how you feel helpless, forsaken, tortured by temptation, karma, or tests, if you ever keep hoping, He will come. He will come. When your mind says piercingly, you can't have Him, you don't deserve Him, still, if your soul, disregarding all this, shall ever keep chanting within, He will come. He will come. When He shall be sure nothing else can claim you, then He will come. Even if you are the sinners of sinners, still, If you never stop calling him deeply in the temple of unceasing love, then he will come. So God bless you all.
So please take what you would like to give and place it in your right hand and repeat after me. Divine Mother, we offer to Thee the fruit of our labors. Bless this offering, that it serve as a channel of Thy light to truth-seeking souls everywhere. And I'll invite the choir to come up and we'll do another song called Dark Eyes.
No pressure.
Okay.
Okay.
I've known them forever, they've haunted my slumber and called to me out of the deeps of space. The love that they promised has helped me remember another time a caring embrace. Dark eyes in the morning, dark eyes in the evening, dark eyes in the starlight at end of day. Dark eyes that speak silence, they whisper, come find me. You'll never know true love if you stay. Now I seek them in the winter time, oh I seek them in the spring. Those two dark eyes draw my heart away to where sun and moon sing. I laugh now in the summertime when ripples on the river play. I laugh soaring with the meadowlarks, love has made my heart gay. I laugh soaring with the meadowlarks, love has made my heart gay. I've known them forever, they've haunted my slumber and called to me out of the deeps of space. The love that they promise has helped me remember another time of caring embrace. Another time of caring embrace.
You're beautiful. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
So now we will have the Festival of Light.